Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Chris Taylor, and I am the advocate of the devil. The internet is a many-splendored, many-stalking thing. Big brother Google is everywhere, with Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and Snapchat and, well, whatever else you youngins use to keep in touch electronically while not being side by side physically. Now, it can be a little daunting, but there are plenty of upsides. Like when things truly go to hell, it won't take too long to know why, where, or how big the catastrophe. Or apocalypse. Or adpocalypse. That's right, this year has not been kind to YouTube, with ad sponsors going the way of the dodo, alt-writers gaining a foothold in the freedom of speech in video form place, and other content creators lamenting the follies of the one true location to let our collective voices be heard, and liked, and shared, and subscribed. Well, I really can't hint any harder than that, can I? We here at Devious Advocacy have also spoken out about at least some of what has happened. And who knows, pretty soon there may not even be a YouTube for us to voice what's on our minds. It's their own fault anyways, right? But here's the thing. For all its faults, YouTube is actually still in the positives in my mind, and today, I'm gonna voice my opinions on why. In order to understand the full story of any given topic, it's always best to get both sides. In some cases, it's the positive and the negative, the good and the bad. And while here, we've been trying to keep things more on the positive side on things that most only see negatively, this time around, we really do need to delve into what the negative parts of YouTube really are. There's one super duper big one, a total lack of communication.
What we have here is a failure to communicate.
There's next to zero ability to talk to the people who actually run this site. Sure, if you get big enough to align yourself with a conglomerate of creators, you get representation. But that's just a middleman situation. Even the biggest of the big YouTubers don't have access to the owners and operators directly. That is a huge problem with the way things are structured here. And you know what? That's a big reason why the adpocalypse actually happened. Let me explain, since as big as YouTube is, there are always some people who just don't know what's going on. It was April of this year, and the biggest creator on this platform, well, he made some tasteless jokes. Jokes about Hitler and Nazis. The kind of jokes that really aren't funny. That's when the advertisers ran to the hills. For the next few months, this platform gets scrutinized, demonized, belittled, and most importantly, the big heads of state decide to mess with the algorithm. Again. Media attention gets slammed all in our faces and excuses are made on all sides. The major effect, obviously, was that people were making less money through AdSense. But there was another effect too. Think about any company out there. Their number one concern, well actually their only concern, is their image so as to better make money. For any company, money is what makes the world go round, and being associated with videos that could negatively affect their image are also going to negatively affect their bottom line.
'Cause that's the bottom line. 'Cause Stone Cold said so.
So they flee, negatively impacting the lives of those whose entire income is from this site. It may seem strange that we're defending them then, especially since we here at Devious Advocacy were also negatively impacted by the situation. At first, we were averaging about 100 new subs a month, going as high as 200 right as the adpocalypse struck. Almost overnight, whatever exposure we were getting was yanked away. And yet, I still think that in the end, this was a good thing. Because now, it forces a higher standard for quality content. Think about it. YouTube wants to continue to be a thing. Advertisers still want to place their ads here knowing full well that a lot of eyes and ears are paying attention to the content. And there is a ton of quality content being done on this site, if you can see it. And that right there is another big point. YouTube is huge, big enough that any other platform that tries to compete already has an enormous mountain to try and climb. YouTube has everything. Tech tips, game journalism, cooking classes, music, just about everything you could ever want and need, all available in one place. Even big enough that you can spend years watching things that get released here and still be surprised by what you find. Here's an example. Matthew Patrick, the man behind the game and film theory channels, regularly takes a look at not only the algorithm of YouTube's automated system, but the people who help create the trends that get the most traction. During some of his analysis videos, he naturally cites things that are widely available here on this platform. High quality, high production value, and until I had seen it there, I never would have known where to look for it.
And that's not all that's new this year.
That is the magic of YouTube. Not only is there a little bit of everything here, but you can spend hundreds of hours on it and not even scratch the surface of what's available to you. And finally, the adpocalypse actually has the potential to enact some positive change in the way people look at internet media. Previous forms of entertainment have all gone through their periods of scrutiny. Books have been burned. Radio serials sent the world into a panic with thoughts of alien invasions. In more recent times, the television has thought to have been a harbinger of the end of times, making our youth and even adults lazy and unmotivated, all at the prospect of just sitting in front of, and I'm quoting my own mother here, the idiot box. Even more recently, gaming has come under fire as the reason/excuse of many a violent act. YouTube now has that same scrutiny attached to it, and to be quite honest, rightfully so. There are plenty of problems with the way the algorithms are, pushing forth people who are already popular instead of reinforcing new, skilled talent. Making the system be monitored by actual people instead of it just being automatic would be a huge step in the right direction. But the potential is here for there to be a massive turnaround. The best thing about this platform is that literally anybody with a camera, a voice, and some tenacity can accomplish something. You sitting down watching this right now, if you have a webcam, your voice can be heard. The barrier to entry to YouTube is super low. Now, of course, the problem is that since anybody can do this, there are a lot of voices all shouting at the same time. Some of it, like any massive group, is just nonsense, and others are just voices that you personally don't want to hear. But that also means that every day, hell, every hour, there is the potential for some new group or person to rise up in subscriber base and view count. Some new channel just itching to prove their worth. Do you hear that, YouTube? Should I be even more direct than that? It's us. Despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary, I do hope I managed to shed some light into exactly what makes YouTube great. Whether it be in the sheer amount of content that's available, even ones you've never seen or heard of, or even just the fact that, well, there really isn't any other place to do what we do here, YouTube is a one-of-a-kind location within the internet. And that's saying something. And even when the chips are down and the sky is raining fire down on the world and advertisers, remember that not all automated things in life are positives. And maybe get some humans up in here, YouTube! As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button to keep up with everything we have going on here at Devious Advocacy. And click the link in the description below to join us on Discord. Chat with us in real time. I do want to take a moment to sincerely thank our patrons and to remind you all that we have some bonus behind the scenes footage coming up very soon. Actually, knowing Dan the editor man, he probably has something stashed up there already. And above all else, let us know in the comments below what your opinions are. Is YouTube obsolete? Maybe there's something better out there for us content creators to use. By all means, let your own views clash with my own, so that I may proceed to prove you wrong.
I drink, and I know things.
But for now, in the case of defending YouTube, the defense rests.
I got a $100 check from my grandma, and my dad said I need to put it in the bank so it can grow over the years.
Well, that's fantastic. A really smart decision, young man. We can put that check in a money market mutual fund. Then we'll reinvest the earnings into foreign currency accounts with compounding interest, and it's gone.
What's all gone?
The money in your account. It didn't do too well. It's gone.